Okay guys, I'm going to show you all my little tips and tricks for setting up circuits successfully. You'll see that at the moment I've got some paper on the desk, and that's because we're going to use this as part of a 5-step process. When we've got a circuit to do, we're going to start with some paper. We kind of have the diagram on paper. We're then going to lay out the components. We're then going to connect any wires. Lots of people want to do the wires early, but we're going to do them after we've done the components. We're then going to do a check of the circuit, and finally we're going to connect any voltmeters we want to use. Now that means that if we've got some quite complicated circuits, like this one that I've got here, they become very, very easy to set up. Now, when you're going to watch the circuit being set up, your teacher's going to show you, you need to be close enough that you can see what they've got written on the desk. So I've got some numbers written on my sheet here. I've got a number just there. I've got a number just there. If you're not close enough to see numbers that your teacher's written on the sheet, then you're probably too far away to see what's actually going on. And it's no good seeing the back of somebody's head through one of these demos. So we're working up towards circuits that are a little bit like this. Now I've got a very simple circuit that I've made to start off with. That very simple circuit has got either a cell or a power pack, and it's got a single bulb in it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this flat down on the desk. I'm going to physically put things on top of this circuit that I've drawn before we connect anything up. So remember, we're doing these 5 stages. This is the first one, starting with some paper. We're then going to do the components. So I've done that first stage paper. I'm looking for these components. So I'm going to use a power pack first of all. Now, which is the most sensible way to put this around? I'm going to put it around this way. I'm going to physically put it on the paper. I'm going to connect it and check that it works here. Just going to adjust my camera a little bit so you can see it a bit more clearly. There we go. So you can see my power pack here. Now, we're always going to be using the DC power supply here, and also I'm going to start by turning it all the way down to 0 on this supply here. That means I'm not like to break any components. So I've physically put this on top of my piece of paper. I'm now going to get a bulb and physically put that on top there. Right, I've done my paper, I've done my components, I now need to do my wires. Now, there is a chance that some of this equipment is broken. So this is going to be a simple fault-finding circuit that we can use in order to work out whether all of this stuff works. Now, I've got 2 wires, I've got 1 bulb here. I'm just going to turn the power up. Okay, now I can see that it's the tiniest bit of light. I don't need to have it any more bright than that is. If you keep your bulbs nice and dim, that means that they don't break. It's very exciting having your bulb up nice and bright like this, but there is a chance over the course of the lesson that they can basically get very hot and they can stop working. So there's a very, very simple circuit set up that way. Now, what you'll notice if I move my camera in from above is that the circuit doesn't look exactly the same as the one that I've drawn. I had some nice straight edges on here, and obviously the wires are curvy. So we have these simpler circuits because they're much, much easier to draw. You have a tricky job, which is working out how the circuit looks in real life with these wires, and how it looks on this diagram, which is a little bit different here. Now, by putting stuff physically on top, that makes it much, much easier to work out.